Listen, a lot of people might not like what I'm about to say, but the truth has to be told sometimes. It's a wake-up call. The thing is, I always argue with people back home who are eager to move to UK, Europe, America, and Australia and Canada. They think that life will be better when they move abroad. They think that I'm lying or an enemy of progress when I tell them not to come to these countries. Because life is hard in these countries. You don't just come and make it straight away. Especially in the UK, they think life is paradise where you get rich quickly. Some people are even spending 10, 20, 30,000 pounds or dollars just to move to another country, thinking life will be easier and they'll be more prosperous than back home. Don't make a move that you'll regret, because plenty of people moved and they regretted within a month. I always hear stories and see videos all over social media where Africans are complaining about abroad within the first month of moving there. A lot of people are saying they're struggling already, they haven't made much money, they don't have much in savings after a year. Many people have moved back within 3 months of moving here. After spending all those monies to move here or move to America, they move back to their home countries because they couldn't cope. A lot of people stay here and complain. A lot of people go into depression and start losing their minds. And a lot of people are stuck here because they can't afford a plane ticket to fly back to Africa. And they already spent their last money to move abroad. Or when they move back home, they don't have anything left. A lot of people sold their businesses, their houses and their lands, and they have nothing left. And these same people were highly respected people back home, but now they don't have money to move back. And a lot of people can't move back to Africa because they're ashamed, because they're showing off to people in their local areas that they're moving abroad to make it. If they come back within a short space of time, people will laugh at them. They rather stay here and suffer. Another funny thing is, some people challenge me and ask me, if UK is so bad, why are you also here? But I told them I don't have a choice, I was born here. But if I could relocate back to Africa, I would, because there's more freedom there, more respect, better weather, better food and less hassle, and more money-making opportunities, and you can build a life on your own terms. None of that systematic 9-to-5 working life where you just work and pay bills. People back home think that once they get to the UK, they start living large, buying 2 houses, buying big cars. You see cars sitting in front of the driveway, front and back garden, garage. You sit at home every day just watching TV, sitting on a sofa like a big boss, building 10 houses back home. They probably think that you earn £10,000 a week. Take that money back home and start enjoying and doing things, bragging about their successes. But life is not like that abroad. Life is not like that in any country. There's nothing like quick success. But many people who have lived in UK for years haven't even managed to buy one house. What makes you think you can come within a space of 5 months and buy more houses than someone who's been living here and they're trying to cope? Some families are even living in rooms in a shared house. A husband and a wife and their children are living in one room in a shared house, because life is not easy. What makes you think you can come, you know nothing about UK or America, and you know nothing about the system, and you can come and live better than people who have suffered for years in this country? Not only are you insulting the people who are living abroad, it's also foolish, because common sense will tell you success takes time, hard work and patience. You can't just make it quickly like that. Alright, let's talk about lifestyle differences. Let's be realistic. How many black people do you see driving G-Wagons and Lamborghinis in UK? You hardly even see white people driving these cars. There's very few. But meanwhile, in Ghana and Nigeria, places like Lekki, Victoria Island, Banana Island, Spintex, East Legon, Dansoman, these places you see big cars left, right and center. You see people driving in convoys. You see people living in houses that look like mansions in America. And you see people living in houses that look better than American and British houses. You see restaurants and nightclubs that are bigger and better than UK restaurants and nightclubs. But people might argue and say, you don't know how these people made their money. They made their money through dodgy means. But not everyone's doing that. You can make a lot of money legitimately back in Africa if you're doing the right business and you have the right capital to start a business, and you plan well, and you're selling the right products and the right services. You can make money in pounds and dollars. Business is easier to set up in Africa, and the taxes are lower, and the system is more flexible. If you think you're running away from hardship and poverty by moving to UK, now you have 2 debts on your head. You have debt back home in Africa because you probably borrowed monies from people to help you move abroad, which is cool. And now you have debts in UK because now you're paying bills and you have to look after people back in Africa. So now you have 2 debts on your head. What makes you think you're going to see your money from working? Also, a big chunk of your money goes into rent. A room in a shared house, only a shared house where you share a toilet and a bathroom with people, is £500 to £1,000 a month. A 3-bedroom house where you have your own toilet and bathroom is around £2,000 to £3,000 a month. Childcare is £14,000 to £20,000 a year in London. Even if you get help from the government, it still costs a lot of money, and full-time care costs around £900 a month for each child. Public transportation, you're paying around £140 a month to take buses and trains in and out of London. You have bills, you have gas and electricity. That can go up to like £600 a month just for electricity. You lot are complaining about light back home. Light bills are cheap in Africa, very cheap. The monies that people pay here for electricity and gas can pay for someone's rent in Africa for one whole year for a small chamber and hall building. If you want a car, you're paying for insurance, you're paying for road tax, you're paying for MOT. UK and America, they tax everything. There's taxes on cars, taxes on houses. There's even taxes on inheritance. And you're talking about free healthcare. Not everyone gets free healthcare in UK. America's even worse. There's nothing like free healthcare. You have to pay for health insurance. Even households earning £88,000 a year, 2 people sharing the bills, still struggle to afford to have 2 children, a mortgage, and pay for basic living standards. And don't expect to have access to high-paying jobs, big office jobs. I wear shirt and tie. That's all they know. I wear shirt and tie. A lot of people in Africa had big job titles. They were doctors back home. They were lawyers. They were accountants back home. But when they moved to UK, they have to settle for lower level paid jobs. Moving to UK to be cleaning people's nyash for a living. And you're going to be working hard as well, killing your body. A lot of people are doing these jobs. And don't listen to these liars. I'm working in an office. I'm a lawyer. I'm this. People are lying to you about their job titles. They're not telling you how life really is abroad. They lie to you saying they're doing a good job, they're doing well. You would believe their lies. That's why a lot of people are thinking if they move abroad, they're going to be doing well too. Because people have been telling them lies. A lot of people had businesses back home, profitable businesses. And they sell these businesses to come to UK to be doing lower level jobs, low paying jobs. That doesn't make any sense. And these low level jobs are hard. You'll be doing long hours for small pay. Sometimes you'll be working, doing 12-hour shifts, and you get small breaks. And you're damaging your body. You'll break your back and you'll have bad legs. You'll have joint pains. You'll have wrist injuries. You'll have chronic pains. You'll have high blood pressure. And it's going to affect you mentally as well. How can you think when you're tired? And because of stress, it's going to affect the way you think. A lot of these people are not even thinking about sex anymore, because when you overwork your body, it kills your sex drive. It lowers your libido. Some people can't even get erections anymore. How can you go home to your partner to perform well when your mind and your body is tired? Speaking of the laws, the government is changing the laws every day. Immigration rules are getting tighter. Care worker visas are closing. English tests are getting stricter. And residency for citizenship is rising from 5 years to 10 years. Now you have to try and stick to one company that will sponsor you for 10 years. How can you stick to one company for a whole 10 years? And if you lose that job, you have to find another company that's going to sponsor you. And that's very hard to find. It's not easy to just jump up and find a new job like that offers sponsorship. These companies are very limited. So the government's made it very difficult for people. Lasting 10 years in this country, sticking to a sponsorship job is not easy. Especially when you lose one, you can't just keep jumping to another and another and another for 10 years. You'll even get fed up after 10 years. You might not even like that industry anymore. You might not like care work anymore. Because care work is not the kind of work you want to stay in for a good 10 years. Not even 2-3 years. People get tired. They want to leave and find another job field to work in. A lot of people have moved back because they couldn't find another company that would sponsor them. It's happened to a lot of people. And some people didn't want to move back. They moved back because they couldn't cope. They didn't even want to stay here legally because there's no money coming in. How can you pay your rent if you have no income? And it's very hard to get under the table jobs where people pay you cash in hand. People just move back home because they can't cope. And the people who do stay, they just have to stay with family and manage with no income coming in. Why do that to yourself? The legal system is unfair too. There's a lot of racism and discrimination. If someone slaps you in the street, and you defend yourself and punch the person in the face and you damage them, the judge in the courts might not want to hear your side of the story, and they'll sentence you and deport you straight away if your lawyers can't fight your case very well. You're always walking around on eggshells, always careful, always trying to stay out of trouble. What kind of life is that? That's not freedom. Not that I'm saying that you should go around looking for trouble, but you have to just walk around on eggshells all the time. The system works against you, not with you. Let's talk about mental illness. I've seen a lot of African people, when they first came to UK, they were normal, sensible people. You have nice conversations with them. They had a lot of sense. But after staying in UK, they turned mentally ill. You see some people walking on the streets talking to themselves. You see some people arguing with people for no reason. That mental illness came from stress because they couldn't cope in life, so it turned into mental illness. That's chronic stress. Chronic stress can make you lose your mind. Some turn into alcoholics, some turn into drug abusers, some even end up homeless. Homelessness is a big problem in UK and America. There are more homeless people in these countries than in Africa. Most of the time when you see someone who's homeless in Africa, it's because they run mad. So they just run around in the streets. That's the main reason why they're homeless. But in UK, homelessness is common. I don't know why everyone assumes that everyone's doing well in UK. People born in UK and America and Canada are even running away from their own countries to find better lives in other countries. A lot of them even move to Africa because the systems are less strict and it's less expensive to live there. And it's more affordable to live in Africa. Even rich people are running away from UK because the taxes and expenses are too high. They don't even enjoy their money anymore. Why should they work hard and most of what they've earned goes to the government for doing nothing? There's inheritance tax where when your parents pass away, the government taxes that money too. You might get taxed for the houses that you sell. And if you do get taxed, it's 40%. That's almost half of that money gone. There's even redundancy tax where you lose your job and the company pays you. The government can tax that too. There's business tax, business rates. There's VAT, there's imports taxes, and they're high. They're high. Even these millionaires, if they're earning 1 million a year, after all these payments, you're gonna have like £600,000 left. Almost half of your money gone. Even big companies are closing down every day. Powerland, that's a big company. They have branches all over. They're slowly closing their branches because they're not drawing the customers. These are companies that are selling cheap products. Even they're struggling. Iceland closing certain stores. Burger King's closing certain stores. These car dealerships, well-known car dealerships like Mercedes and Ford, closing their showrooms. Even companies are struggling. Companies that have good systems where they have franchises and branches all over the place. Even they're closing down slowly. Even if businesses and millionaires are struggling, what makes you think you can move to UK or America and just make it and make big money? More than people who've been there for years. So Africa's the way forward. Lower cost of living, lower bills, food is more affordable, and you get bigger portions of food. Rent is affordable, transportation is very affordable. The way of life is better. Better weather, better vibes. Everyone's happy. Even when people don't have much money, they're happier than people who have money here. And money stretches. Take £100 to Ghana or Nigeria. That money will last you for like 2 weeks while you're on holiday. Apart from the hotel bills and everything else, just go to a few different places to have your fun. £100 will last you 2 weeks. And that's why it's easier to save money in Africa because the expenses are not too high. The bills are not too high. Over there, it's not about paying bills. You get stupid letters coming to your house, parking tickets, speeding tickets, gas, council tax, this, that. And that's why a lot of people are stressed in UK and America because there's too many bills. So it's easier to save money in Africa. If you want to save £1,000, that £1,000 will last you a very long time. In UK or America, if someone gives you £100 as a gift, you won't feel too happy about it because that money will finish in one day. After paying all these little expenses, that money will finish. It's not like back in the 90s, someone gave you £100. It's like you've won the jackpot. It's easier to set up a business in Africa and it's easier to sell goods there if you have the right product that meets the demands. When you set up a business, all these laws are going to restrict you. There's certain things you can do and there's certain things you can't do. If you have a restaurant, the government will come and tell you you're playing your music too loud. Oh, why do you have a chair in front of your own restaurant? That's what the government will do. These little restrictions is going to affect your business. Even if you have your own house, to change the roof on your own house, you have to get permission from the government and you have to wait for them to reply to you. And you probably have to pay a fee. The government even tells you how to treat your own kids, tells you who the kid belongs to, who has custody of the kids. You smack your own kids, you get arrested. Not that I'm condoning it, but it happens. If you give your kids a bad haircut, they can even report you to social services and you'll get into trouble for giving your kids a bad haircut. Police will come to your house. Child abuse. I've heard stories like that before. Someone almost got arrested for cutting their own child's hair. Even your own children don't belong to you. They belong to the government. There's too much control in UK and America and these foreign countries. That's why people go through a lot of stress. Little petty things like that can stress someone out and make them lose their minds. Africa's not like that. There are so many opportunities in Africa that will make you rich. There's agriculture, there's farming, there's technology, microfinance, even media. Even if you get involved in the Nollywood movie business and you know what you're doing, you can make a lot of money from movies. Even the music industry is better in Africa than it is here. In UK and America, the music industry is dead. How many UK musicians can you name where people care about them all over the world? They're not recognized anymore. But there's so many musicians who made it in Africa. There's Burna Boy, Davido, Shally Poppy. You can name so many people. Even the music industry is better there than abroad because things are working over there. Burna Boy used to live in UK, but when he moved back to Nigeria, he made it. Naira Marley, he made links in Nigeria and he blew up in Nigeria, not here. But name one UK artist that everyone cares about in Africa. There's none. There's only Stormzy, but people are not really listening to his music like that, like before. So where are all the talented musicians in UK? They're there. They exist. There's a lot of talented musicians in UK, but the industry is not working for them because it's too systematic. Everyone's blocked and everyone's restricted. And you can get cancelled easily. Even if you're famous, one wrong move, your whole career is finished as a musician. How many rich black people do you see in UK? I'm talking millionaires and billionaires. Probably like one or two. British borns, not people born back home. I'm talking about British borns. How many of them have made it in UK? Except for sports. Don't mention sports, don't mention music. People who did business and made it. How many of them do you see in UK? But back home, you see a lot of rich people doing different businesses and they get richer than people in UK. There's only a black person who owns City Airport and Gatwick Airport. And he's not even a British born. He's a Nigerian. And he didn't raise the money in UK from working 9 to 5. He's in America now, working on more opportunities. America's slightly better than UK, but I keep talking about UK because UK is more systematic. So it's harder to do things and make movements in UK than it is in most other parts of the world. People need to stop thinking abroad will bring instant wealth and monies. There's hidden costs. And these agents who bring them to the country will tell them anything. They're getting paid to make you move abroad. So they'll tell you life is sweet. I'll get you a job. I'll help you, blah, blah, blah. They'll gas you up, then take your money. Once they've taken their monies, you're on your own now. I don't even know how these people raise 10,000, 20, 30,000 pounds back home. You're telling me back home is hard. If you can raise 30,000 pounds, then you can raise more. Why don't you use that 10, 20, 30,000 pounds to invest in a business in Africa that can make you rich or at least comfortable in Africa? You're using it to move abroad, to struggle. That doesn't make any sense. The hardworking Africans who are doing well stay in their own countries. They don't move abroad. They don't like abroad. They won't even go abroad for holiday. That's how much they love their own countries because they're comfortable there. They have everything they need. They have their house or houses. They have their businesses. They have their comfort. They have house helpers. They might have drivers. They're okay. They have better weather, better food. They can get anything they want. It's easier to get anything you want in Africa than it is in UK. UK, you always have to go by the book. Africa, you get whatever you want if you're good at talking and if you spend a bit of money. It's not like that abroad. In Africa, you get more respect, more support. In UK, if you die in your room, you know how long it's going to take for your own family to find out. Everyone's out there fighting for themselves. No one has time for anyone. But back in Africa, you have more of a support system. You have friends and family around you. Even fake friends will still be around you. But UK, your own friends will abandon you. They don't have time for you. They're thinking about themselves. We need to stop developing other people's countries. We're always complaining that our country's not developed. It's your fault because you're moving abroad. You want to move abroad all the time. Africa needs our energy and our ideas. Don't let these fake dreams mislead you. Yeah, there's plenty of opportunities there. Why do you think Asians are moving there? Chinese people are running to Africa to make money. Indians are running to Africa to make money. Lebanese are running to Africa to make money. Saudi Arabians, they're running to Africa to make money. French, Dutch, Germans. A lot of people are running there to make money because they know that's the gold mine. I just hope you can share this video with your friends and your families because I'm sure you've probably argued with at least one person because they think they know it all. You tell them not to come abroad, but they won't listen to you. So if you share this video with these people, it might confirm to them that what you're saying is right.